Alrighty folks, I don't know if you can see me, but I am in a special location today, and if you know the name of that special location, write it on your quiz on Monday, or whatever day we have our quiz, and you will receive 5 extra points on your quiz. I'll give you a hint, there are lots of chairs in here, and they are kind of comfy, and you can hear things using your auditory senses. Alright, I don't know if you can see me, but hello! We have a few notes here today. We're talking about solving one-step equations. And I put a few vocabulary terms up here. You may have already become familiar with these, but these might be review, they might be new. They are algebra, balance, equation, expression, coefficient, variable, and term. If you need to take a moment to jot any of these things down, please feel free. And I just want to give you a few keys to success in solving equations, and you can jot those down at your convenience as well. A couple things I want you to remember about solving equations are to always isolate your variable, to get your variable by itself. You want to always do the opposite operation, or what I like to call the inverse operation, and that will allow you to get that variable isolated. And also, you want to always balance your equation. Whatever you do on one side of the equation, make sure you do on the other side of the equation. And we'll talk more about that in a few examples in just a moment. Just as a reminder, extra credit, write AUD on your quiz for 5 points. And keep it to yourself. I want to know who's been watching, who's not been watching. Alrighty, well, there is an extra board here, and I'm going to take this off. Take one extra moment to jot down what you need to jot down. I don't know if you can see me. And I'm going to take this off here, and it's going to go somewhere. There you go. So we're going to use this as kind of a blank slate here, and I'm going to try to sit down next to it and write some stuff down. Whew, nice and comfy. I don't know if you can see me. We're going to try to turn this a little bit. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better. Good enough? Okay. Oh, we're talking about some one-step equations. So, how about an example? Well, if x minus 7 equals 11, we're basically saying that this quantity is equal to this quantity. So whatever this is has to be the same as this. However, we don't know what this is. So by balancing my equation, by doing the opposite operation, we can figure that out. It'll make it a lot easier. What's the opposite of subtracting 7? It would be adding 7. So if I add 7 to this side, and also add 7 to this side, I can show balance, and I can do the opposite operation, which is the basis for algebra. The algebra means to balance. Here's my balance. But I see that these are kind of opposites. So if they're opposites, they can cancel themselves out. 7 minus 7 is just 0. So I can actually just cross it out and bring down the x, which has not been isolated yet. It's about to be isolated. X equals, and 11 plus 7 is. And my answer is x equals 18. It's not 18, it's x equals 18. I can plug this back in if I want to. Say 18 minus 7 equals 11, and since that's true, I'm checked and I'm ready to move on. Addition would work very, very similarly, and since that is true, I'm going to move on to something a little more complicated, and I'm going to move on to multiplication. Pause if you need to, and move on. So here's another example. How about 40 equals 5 cubed. That's not an 8. Well, this is just another way of saying 5 times q. So what's the opposite of multiplying something by 5? It would be to divide by 5. Another way to show that would be to use a fraction bar and divide by the coefficient. The coefficient is a number that's, I like to say, it's glued to the variable. And to unglue it, we must do the opposite operation, or the inverse operation. In this case, it's dividing by 5. So this is a coefficient. And this is a variable. Okay. I'm going to divide by 5 here to maintain my balance, keep things balanced out. These are going to cancel out, which is great. That's the only reason you did that, so that you could cancel out. Bring the rest of my problem down. My Q is there, and what's 40 divided by 5? And my answer is 8 equals Q. Some people might choose to change this around and make it look like Q equals 8. That's perfectly fine. You're still stating a correct answer, and you're stating it in terms of the variable, which is what you're supposed to do. Remember, coefficient is the number that's glued to that variable. Okay, it's glued with that multiplication. We want to unglue it with division. Inverse operations, once again. Okay? These are all equations here. Okay. The other one that I wanted to show you, I'm probably going to have to erase something, so give me a second here. I'm going to use this magic sleeve here. Thank you, Dockers. Thank you, my wife, for this wonderful eraser / sweater. So here's another example here, and this is a division equation, or I like to call it a division equation. It's not really division, it's still multiplication, but it shows division in how it's structured. Let's do y over 6 equals 13. So this is another way of saying y divided by 6 equals 13, because that fraction bar denotes division. What's the opposite of dividing by 6? Are you sure? Really? Okay. Multiply both sides by 6. And that maintains balance. Times 6 times 6. And these are meant to balance out. They're meant to cancel out. My answer is y equals 78. If my answer is y equals 78, I should be able to plug it in here and say 78 divided by 6 equals 13, and it should be true. If it's true, then we move on. Yada, yada, yada. However, this looks like it has a shortcut in it somewhere. Do you know where that shortcut is? What's 6 times 13? It's right there. It's going to be y equals 78 again. So whenever you come across a problem that has a variable over a non-zero number equals another number, you can just do that shorthand multiplication where I can find the answer quite easily. Overall, all the examples that we've done here in class, as homework, as classwork, even on quiz and test, are all going to show balance. They're all going to show inverse operations. They're going to show the work as well. And everything we've done so far is showing good algebra work. And that's the goal. The goal is not just for you to find the answer. It's for you to be able to show the work in a consistently correct way that shows that you understand the concept of balance, because that's going to help you in your future years of math. And if I can help you now with that, I hope that you'll ask questions. I hope that you'll let me know. I hope that you'll make a post on Edmodo, on the blog, email, smoke signal, phone call, or even in class. Have a good day.